Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're back with another video.
What's going on, everybody? We're back. We had to take a mental break from our Dark Side of the Ring vlog series due to the nature of the last episode. So for those that were looking for that vlog, we regret to inform you due to the nature of it, it just didn't sit right with us to give our input on it. But
yeah, but we will be back with the next episode of Dark Side of the Ring. It was just the nature of this episode was a little too much. Too much for us to really dive into, like the way we usually do our reviews. So that's why we decided to skip that one.
But on that note, today is a day where we will do a news vlog. There have been a lot of recent moves and shakeups in the wrestling world, and there is a birthday on this day.
Who is it? I think I know
it. It is the voice of the new generation and the voice of the Attitude Era when it comes to ring introductions. Today, in the wrestling business, we remember Howard Finkel, his birthday. So
I was actually watching old WWE clips today. That's kind of like my background noise when I'm doing my work or my job. And I don't know, I just love Howard Finkel's like ring announcing voice. It just leaves an impression in your mind, right?
Well, for me, any combat sports when it comes to wrestling, he does leave a imprint on the WWE side, but for me, it is the Buffer family. Michael Buffer and his brother, Bruce. Those two guys leave me with impact on how to present it, how to sell it, and just they're the guys that kind of I mold after. So so happy birthday, Howard. I'm sure you're going to be calling a SummerSlam moment up with the Angels. Speaking of which, SummerSlam will be taking place on a Saturday, on the 21st of August, and like we mentioned the last time we were on air, it'll be the first non-Sunday
pay-per-view
that WWE has done of their major shows. It'll be the first one they've done in quite a while. In the early days of SummerSlam and of Survivor Series, those were done on weekdays, like on a Monday, on a Tuesday. And those were pretty much those days back then. And it wasn't until the middle of 1995, 96, and they started putting them on Sundays. So it'll emanate from Las Vegas. It'll be the second of the 4 major WWE shows to emanate from Vegas, and the first one since 1993, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, WrestleMania 9 emanated from Caesar's Palace in 93. On that night, Hulk Hogan got his 5th WWE Championship going against Yokozuna. Of course, Bret had the shot, and he, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but he was screwed out of the title. He was screwed. So it wasn't the first time that Bret got screwed, or Bret screwed Bret. It wasn't the first time. It was just a coincidence, to say the least.
Why would it be a coincidence, would you say?
Because I say that because at that time, he wins the belt from Ric Flair, and Ric Flair leaves after that. But Hogan had talked about leaving WWE leading up to WrestleMania 9, and that was around that time that he Vince had that trial. So it was ironic that he comes back on the very first episode of Monday Night Raw, his first appearance, and they build up WrestleMania 9, and then that was the face turn to Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart is synonymous with Hulk Hogan, but at the time that the inaugural year of Monday Night Raw happened, he was the manager for Money Incorporated, better known as Ted DiBiase Sr. and IRS, or VK Wall Street, however you want to call him, Mike Rotunda. So that was around that time. So, and I can't believe it's been 29 years since that time. Oh boy, we're old.
Yes.
So,
so what else is like on the news? I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. AEW has made some new signings. Mark Henry has joined AEW on announced team. So I'm very interested in hearing his.
Is he going to be? I heard about it from Via Double Nothing. That's how I found out. So is he going to be an active wrestler, or is he going to be more prominent backstage? That's what I was kind of confused on.
That's what I missed out on. I'm not entirely sure, but on that same show, we get Leo Rush making his debut.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's like a one-off thing or he's like officially signed, but yeah.
Well, from what I got, he did a verbal agreement, and I know a lot of folks don't do that much like that no more. A handshake and a verbal agreement, and he got it not only with AEW, but he got it with New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. So he is pulling double duty. So obviously he still has wrestling in the blood, obviously. And this past Friday we got the debut of Andrade,
which was obviously that was a no-brainer. I mean, It's been hinted at for months.
But I think his signing, along with Miro's signing, we're gonna end up getting more ex-WWE superstars soon. Lana is gone, in case people have forgotten. Lana is gone. She's no longer a part of WWE.
We might as well get to that as well. Not only Lana, but Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, and Buddy Murphy. Am I missing anyone?
I think we mentioned the last time Velveteen Dream and a couple of officials.
Couple NXT superstars. Santana Garrett, her too.
Yeah, and I think of all the recent releases that made me go, Velveteen Dream, obviously, for what he did, like I said, socially, that kind of got him some criminal investigative backstory. And then this deal where Mark Carrano, his release, I gotta admit, I'm glad he's gone. For those who don't know why I'm saying that, he had been accused of sending personal belongings for the past decade of released superstars home in a trash can.
Coming from someone who's watched him on Total Divas, I always got a bad vibe from him. But with like the whole situation that took place this year, like, and maybe there is some other stuff that probably went down while he was there. We don't know. We're not backstage. It just kind of put things in perspective of how I felt about him, at least in my personal view. I don't know about anyone else, but for me,
when you have vets giving a public apology over Twitter, when you have Triple H co-signing a public apology over Twitter,
and Stephanie,
you know he was doing something dirty. It don't get no dirtier than that. Just get yourself sent home in a trash bag. Like, come on. Where's the dignity? Where's the self-respect?
Right.
And actually, Braun Strowman's release. I don't know if people misused him because he was a member of Adam Rose's Rosebuds several years ago.
Really?
Yes.
I must have missed that because I don't recall.
You couldn't. You could not miss this, Caddy.
No, that's serious. Like, that must have crossed my mind, or I must have missed like the segment or whatnot, but I did not see it at all.
Yeah, well,
refresh my memory.
Adam Rose, that whole Rosebud thing went out the window quick, and then he got repackaged with the Wyatt family, and Braun made a lasting legacy with Roman, with Bray, and of all people, Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
King Little Big. She took to Twitter and said that she was completely heartbroken by his release. And these recent releases not only have WWE superstars reacted to him, but ex-WWE superstars have reacted to him.
Yeah.
Renee Young, she has taken to Twitter and called him classless. I wouldn't go that far.
Son, I mean, she's entitled to
Speaking on
opinion,
emotion,
obviously,
she's
but
speaking on emotion.
yeah, it is a very emotional thing. Like at the end of the day, these are people who've lost their jobs. And I think we, as fans, should try to see it from that lens as well. Like I know it may be like frustrating, like seeing your favorite wrestler like get released. Like I understand that, but these are people who literally lost their jobs, and it's probably like, you know, that's the way that they make their money. That's how they make a living for themselves. So I think it's really important to see it from that perspective. But if you're like a wrestler in the business, and like when you see the wrestlers like sounding off on it on social media, they do tend to react in certain ways that people are just like, okay, maybe that's a little too far. But I think just to add on to it, I think one that I was personally shocked about, not because I'm like a big fan of his or whatnot, I was pretty shocked about Aleister Black, because I thought that they were going to try and repackage him because he had made his comeback recently. And he had a segment, vignettes, and you know, he was going at it with Big E. You know, I thought there was going to be a feud set up between them, or he was going to possibly go after Apollo Crews for the IC title. Like that was what I was thinking in my mind. So that was the one that I was shocked about. I think Braun too, to a certain extent.
And it's funny because he took to Instagram and Twitter, and he thanked Vince because Vince, he says that if Vince likes you, and he'll go to bat for you, you know, and creatively he loved Aleister Black. I just think athletically he didn't get Aleister Black, but that was Triple H's doing.
Yeah, and there's like that conflict of interest right there too, you know.
And as far as Braun Strowman goes, it's been reported that he may retire due to his.
I heard about that.
He said, "I'm not going to seek another promotion. I made a promise to Vince," and this is a quote that I just literally found it today. He said this last year during the pandemic. PC shows. He's like, well, if I do get released, I ain't going nowhere else. I made that promise to Vince.
Just out of curiosity, where did you read that?
Instagram. One of these wrestling pages kind of did this of all the recent releases, and I think they kind of got a quote posted from last year where he said that if he were to get released, he wouldn't seek other promotion work elsewhere. He made that promise to Vince.
Okay.
And if he did get released, he was going to hang him up. He wasn't gonna jump and, you know, do other work. He was just going to enjoy his time and do his thing.
Okay. I was wondering because, you know, that was my first time hearing about that. So that's pretty interesting.
I mean, I guess, like I said, when you get the entrustment of Vince, Jim Cornette said the best. You may fall out while you're working with him, but, you know, on a personal level, you're a family to him. So, I mean, if he goes to bat for you, you know, it's more than just employer employee. It's more of father figure. So, you know, let's see. About a couple weeks ago, there is news of a debut that kind of flew under the radar. This promotion is a throwback promotion to the mid-'80s, late '70s. And they're doing their 21st century rebirth. I'm referring to NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance.
Oh, yeah. I've been like trying to catch their shows. They posted the first couple episodes on
Tuesdays
YouTube.
at 7 p.m. on YouTube.
Yeah, that's how I've been watching it. You can also watch it on Fight TV as well, I heard.
And there was a debut that caught my attention. And this is where LA Knight recently worked at before signing with WWE. He's formerly known as Eli Drake. This wrestler was a prominent tag team specialist in the Ruthless Aggression era. Not in the early stages, but once the ball got rolling, in the middle of 2006 to 2008, NWA has signed JTG.
Oh. This is the way you introduced him. But yeah, JTG is a personal favorite of mine.
Yep, he is currently signed to the NWA promotion. And if you're looking for any other throwback wrestlers from that era, the Pope, D'Angelo Dinero, is also there.
I love the Pope. TNA on Spike TV. TNA on Spike TV days. It put me on to a lot of wrestlers, and he was one of them. So.
Believe it or not, he was Elijah Burke in WWE.
Yeah, I remember that, but I didn't like see his like WWE work. I got introduced to him like through TNA, through that the Pope character. I loved it. I like really enjoyed it.
He participated in a couple of WrestleManias between 2007 and 2008. So he had his big shot moment. And, let's see. I know a lot of people are enjoying the A&E biography specials that are airing on Sundays on A&E, which I would love to do vlog series on those if you want to add them before we do them.
There's just a lot to cover, and it's just like so interesting. But that's something I would love to like do at least a little something on.
Yeah, and I bring those up because there is a new special. I also found this out today via Instagram on a post. I forget who shared it or who posted it, but there is a new documentary that is scheduled to be developed and put on air about the late great Chyna.
Yeah, it'll be on Vice TV. Comes out, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it this month or next month?
I believe it is later this month or early next month after the 4th. So here in the next few weeks or so, it should be out.
Yeah, and this is. Oh, excuse me. This is like separate from Dark Side of the Ring, right? This is like its own thing.
It is. It's going to be more, and it's going to be a pickup of another show that had nothing to do with WWE.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
Now, this show that I'm referring to, it picks up on all the Hollywood celebrities that have passed for various reasons. If anybody has access to this network, I highly recommend that you watch them on Saturday and Sundays. It's called Reels Network. And the show where I saw the document, this show is Autopsy, the final hour of, and then you'll do John Belushi or whoever. But they've done 3 professional wrestlers, and they've been the Macho Man, Randy Savage, Chris Benoit, and China. So I would recommend watching those episodes. That way you can do your studying on that network and those series of shows, because they have a doctor who does autopsy chart work, and he'll do their backtrack of when they started doing drugs and what led up to it and things of that sort. I'm assuming that Triple H will be involved in this because a lot of people may have forgotten China and Triple H were an item.
I don't think a lot of people forgot. It's well known, but I don't think it's talked about as much these days.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to bash Triple H. He's flourishing in the business of corporate and all that, but her story is tragic, and I think it's because China was dumped unceremoniously.
I talk about that.
WWE, thanks to China. I'm sorry, thanks to Triple H. So, there has to be some explanation for him on that. There has to be some explanation, some reason behind that. So,
I feel uncomfortable watching it. I'm just kidding, but yeah. And on some other news, Hell in a Cell is in 2 weeks. It will be on June 20th. Sunday, June 20th at 7 p.m.
Next Sunday. No, is it this Sunday? No, it's next Sunday.
It's June 20th, right?
Yeah, because this coming Sunday, there is this coming Saturday and this coming Sunday, there are 2 pay-per-views. Impact has one on Saturday.
This is too much. This is too much going on. I can't keep up. Which pay-per-views are these?
Sunday is a takeover for WWE.
NXT in your house. Yeah, I remember that one.
And our favorite 90s commentator, Todd Pettengill, is back. Yes.
Can't wait.
And that's the go home show for Takeover is Tuesday. So, Impact, they have, I forget the pay-per-view, but it's coming up Saturday, and the key attraction match will be Moose versus Kenny Omega.
Oh, this is for TNA. I can't remember the pay-per-view name. But yeah, I heard about that match. I feel like this is Moose's finals match. I think this is Moose's final match. That's like kind of like my prediction before he jumps.
I mean, if he wants to hang him up, hey, WWE missed the mark on this brother. I personally knew him back in the day in the 80s. He wrestled for WWA 4. Shout out to that school and its current trainer and coach. He got his start through Mr. Hughes. So not only not only has Heath Slater walked through the doors, Apollo Crews, Moose, you name it, he's done it.
That's awesome.
WWE 4 is a powerhouse, in my opinion, of an independent school, and they teach you everything that WWE will get you for, as well as Impact, New Japan, whoever. So it's let's see, what else was there? Anniversary note. On this date in 1999, we found out who the greater power was in the corporate ministry. We finally found out who it was.
Who was it?
Everybody had their speculations of who it might have been. And the greatest line ever was uttered just when we thought the rivalry was over. It's me, Austin. It's Vinny Mac.
His voice, I still can hear him say it. It's funny, but it was like drop dead shocking at the same time. I'm sorry, but Vince's voice gets me sometimes. It's so funny.
Yeah, it was a moment that made me go, wow. I don't know if that was more shocking or his Union heel turn with Austin 2 years later. I was like, oh, okay, which one am I going to remember most? And yeah, and actually, I'm trying to think. There was also a release from AEW. A well-known, prominent female wrestler was released, or her contract is not going to be renewed. She is known for her time in Impact Wrestling, New Japan, WWE, and had a short-lived Netflix series, if I'm not mistaken, called Glow.
Yeah. That's the right name.
Awesome Kong is being relieved of her contractual agreement, I guess, with AEW. They don't have anything else planned for her, and she may retire from the sport.
Oh no. Another favorite.
And for her, she was Nia Jax before Nia Jax showed up.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, I don't know what her background was as far as athletics go, but she seemed to have
she was a mainstay on the independent circuit, especially in Japan, and she was like really popular over there. She teamed with Aja Kong, and they were known as Double Kong. They won numerous tag team titles, both men and women's tag team titles. So she was like really popular.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's also fluent in Japanese, so that makes her even more interesting. But yeah, she was very big in Japan, popular among women's wrestlers in Japan. And Aja Kong, who's also, she's half African American. She's African American Japanese. So they were this team, and they were this big badass team. They were winning women's tag team titles. I think they won like a 6-man tag team title as well. Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There were some heavy hitters. So, and Aja Kong, she's been wrestling over 30 years. She's still going at it. It's incredible.
Aja Kong, and I think that name is familiar because she did show up in the mid-90s.
Yeah, she was in WWE. Yeah, she was in Survivor Series actually.
1994.
Yeah.
The first and only female Survivor Series match.
Yeah, she eliminated everybody on the other team.
And sadly, her biggest rival was Alundra Blaze.
Yeah, Alundra was like getting a big push during that time.
Yeah, and then she migrated to WCW, and Alundra Blaze followed. I don't think they worked in. They didn't work in ECW. I don't think.
I don't remember if they did or not. Probably not.
I'm watching the early days. I'm watching the early days of ECW, and I don't recall seeing her in ECW. Maybe she kind of ventured elsewhere for a minute, but let me double check and make sure that's all of the wrestling news that has occurred for this week.
It's so much going on, and I'm trying to keep up because I want to support everybody. But
it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Actually, I did come across a post where the Wrestling Republic put out a couple of reasons why the viewership is down for Monday Night Raw, which
everybody's viewership is down, to be honest. If we really want to talk about that, that's a whole nother video.
Now they haven't been this bad since the early days of the Monday Night War.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They haven't been this bad, but just a moment to make sure I quote these correctly.
Yeah, please do.
They gave like 10 reasons. China documentary will be coming up soon. It'll be June 17th.
Oh, it's not too far from now.
No, and Vince will be airing and Vince is doing this. So I believe that'll be on the network here soon, which they will be doing a full launch for the American audiences by SummerSlam.
Okay.
16 years ago, this week, yesterday, as a matter of fact, a future Hall of Famer and multi-time world champion debuted on Monday Night Raw on the highlight reel.
Who is it?
This person will be debuting in the next couple of weeks on the famous Fast and Furious franchise later this summer.
Cena?
Yes, it's been 16 years since he has debuted on Monday Night Raw.
Wow. John Cena is like, he was my first wrestling crush. I'm not gonna lie, sit up here and lie to you. He's also my first piece of wrestling merch that I bought. Well, my mom bought for me, but still, I had the purple T-shirt.
I got his 2013 alternate T-shirt. So, and that was at a house show in Indiana. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm very familiar. I was surprised I found that T-shirt. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure I have all of the wrestling news taken care of here. Here we go. Yes, Wrestling Republic. I'm giving y'all credit for this post. 5 reasons why fans aren't watching in 2021. Rematches after frequent rematches after frequent rematches. Like, how much juice can you get out of a lemon? And
I don't
then
even want to talk about it at this point.
A non-existent tag team division.
That's on both brands.
With only 4 teams.
I don't even want to talk about it. It's time to pack it up. It's time to pack this shit up. For real. Like,
wrestlers suddenly disappear off show with no reason.
That's because there's too many people on the roster.
There's too many people on the roster. A weekly booked women's division of only 13 superstars.
That's it. Let's leave that.
The dreaded facepalm has returned.
I feel like I'm going to be doing that during this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I feel
copy pasted booking every single week. Yeah.
I'm done. It's time to pack it up. That's what I'm saying. That's my new saying.
And this is just a few that these are just a few that they listed. Yeah.
I have 10 more reasons in my head, but I'm not going to say in this video. We'll be here all evening, so.
Oh, well, actually, we may get some new call-ups after SummerSlam. It's being reported that they are going to do a draft the week after SummerSlam.
Thank the Lord.
Now,
if they
what
call
does that
up good
entail?
people.
Now, what does that entail? I have no idea, because just as fast as they do this, they can easily scrap this real quick.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even getting my hopes up, but at least we get to see some fresh faces in the next couple months.
We ain't got long.
Yeah, hurry up.
But how fresh can you do? I mean, Seth is doing his thing. Roman's doing his thing. WWE's it's got his thing with Braun. I'm sorry, with Bobby doing his stuff with the championship, and I actually hope he stays the champ for a minute. That
Me
would be
too.
good for business.
And
I
was so happy when they let him retain at WrestleMania. I was so happy when they let Bobby retain. I was like, just keep the title on him, please. Like,
and I don't know, do we have a police siren somewhere? Because apparently, I'm on the Wrestling Republic social media page. Apparently, this one kind of went under the radar, but somebody got somebody did a $5 discount at the Thunderdome. Somebody did a $5 discount. I don't know who it was or what made them do it. Somebody did a $5 discount. I don't know if it was of anything of super duper value, but there's a full-on investigation going on into the incident. So
that's it. Okay, so I think we can cap it off here. So just be on the lookout for more content, we have Dark Side of the Ring. We're still going to continue reviewing season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring. So we got quite a couple more episodes left. It's 14 episodes in the entire season. We did the first
14.
Yeah. Skip this one. We're gonna focus on the next episode moving forward, which will be focused on Dynamite Kid, which I'm personally excited about because he's one of my all-time favorites. I say that a lot, but like this is like legit one of my all-time favorite wrestlers in Dynamite Kid. And we also have Hell in a Cell coming up. And hopefully we can get our friend Dexter to join us this time. It just seems like it's been a while since he's like joined us in on these vlogs. So hopefully he can come back and join us for the Hell in a Cell review. And is there anything else we left out? Besides the fact that we have so much to watch this summer.
Yeah, so much to watch and so little time. As a matter of fact, the sports world was glued to Showtime pay-per-view last night. God. Our friend Morello, he called the Floyd Mayweather and Logan exhibition. Now, I don't recall which Paul showed up at WrestleMania, but whichever one it was, he took a hell of a stunner from Kevin Owens. I'm assuming
that was Jake Paul. Jake Paul was at WrestleMania, I think.
Jake?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means your brother decided to don the gloves again and take on a professional boxer. So, I don't know how much money he made off of this, but the opponent made $30 million. So it was an easy kill.
Oh my God. I've been seeing memes about the fight this entire day.
Yes.
That's why I started laughing. All right, y'all. That's it. I think we covered a lot of ground here. We end on that note. But stay tuned for more. We're doing it. We're growing. Oh, and by the way, thank you all for like the good responses on the Dark Side of the Ring reviews. Like, I think in total of like the 4 videos we've done this far, we're pushing a total of 400 views. I don't know why. I think it's mainly because the Ultimate Warrior review that we did is a little over, I think it's over 250 views. Don't quote me on that, but that was kind of like where it was at as of this morning. So a lot of growth. So we're on the right path. So thank y'all for supporting us and, you know, just viewing us along on our journey. We've been doing this now since December last year when we first reviewed TLC, and you know, we've grown a lot since, so we're only going to keep growing from here. So thank y'all so much, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
And we're out.